Welcome to Kaiseki Anime, where we air new episodes every other week. Kaiseki covers currently airing anime, older series seen recently, and other relevant topics for the season. I'm your host Marina of the blog Anime BNB, and with me is my co-host Draggle of the cleverly titled Draggle's Anime blog.
This week, we discuss Yakuza Fiancé, Raise wa Tanin Gali.
I don't blame you for hesitating before that second part because I have it on there. It's in the title. I don't actually know how to say it. Like, it's not English, right? It's not Japanese. Is it Japanese?
Well, Yakuza is Japanese. Fiancé is French. Is that
Raise wa Tanin Gali?
I don't know. Lee doesn't sound Japanese.
It doesn't, right? And
No.
I mean, this is originally like a manga source. At first, I was like, is this like maybe from another culture? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Wait, aren't you the one? You've read the manga, right?
Yeah, I've read the manga. I don't know what the title is.
Did you read like the mangaka had to have some sort of like notes? You know how they often have like little author's notes?
Oh, wait. It is Japanese. It's not Lee. It's E. It's a capital I.
Oh my god, that's just like our own romanization here, typing it, making it look like an L. Okay, so Raise wa Tanin Gai.
Okay, we're dumbasses. Good.
I want someone else in my next life.
Oh, yes, that is what it means.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense for this show.
Who do you think it refers to? The guy?
I think it's the girl saying it.
Yeah.
I don't think the guy cares. Anyways, this is a 12-episode TV series. It'll be done soon. I don't really feel like it's wrapping much of anything up, honestly, because we're already at like 10 of 12 episodes.
Yeah, I'm reading the manga, and that's not wrapping anything up in there either, so...
I was going to ask you, since you're a manga reader, like how many volumes does this actually cover?
I don't remember. I feel like it's probably like at least 6 volumes.
Okay.
Or, I mean, like, total out so far. I'm all caught up with the manga, more or less. I think... I don't know exactly how far the anime has gone, but there's still a fair amount left in the manga.
Yeah, it actually looks like the manga is on hiatus, whatever that means. Something about the
okay.
original creator probably on some kind of break.
Okay. Yeah, actually, this is a really good adaptation of the manga. It also has this sense of like how their relationship is, and how messed up the guy is.
Right.
Although the girl's messed up too in her own way, obviously.
They made that more and more clear the closer to the end we get, but I feel like earlier on we didn't have that sense. It was mostly him that seemed to be the wrong one.
Well, I mean, that she like tolerates him at all is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's just a testament to like the kind of life she's led thus like to that point, right? Like
Right.
what she has had to tolerate, what she can handle, and what she's kind of like resigned herself to. But then for me, it felt like for most of it was that she was kind of just going along with it because of her family.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the closer to the end that we get, it almost feels like she is also manipulating him back.
Oh, I kind of felt that from like the start.
Oh, okay. Then you have better sense than I do.
Well, or maybe I just read the manga before.
Yeah.
Because you remember, she, like, when she finds out what he's like, she's been manipulating him since the start, right? She's been kind of, like, training him for, like, what she'll tolerate and what she won't.
I thought that was just basic, like, relationship stuff. Like, you kind of feel out the other person to see where your boundaries are, how much, like, you can tolerate each other. Like, that just seemed normal to me. Whether or not it's a romantic relationship, any kind of relationship, you just sort of test those boundaries, don't you?
I mean, you test them for sure, but I think she's not just testing him. She's, like, training him, like how you would train an animal.
Really? Okay.
I feel like
because he kind of needs it,
that.
because he's almost, they kind of act like he's a bit of like a wild horse, right? Or like a wild dog, right?
Exactly.
He needs the training.
He does need the training, yeah. But most people, they wouldn't do this. They would just get away from him.
I guess so. But then I felt like that's why she was a little bit of the victim in my mind at the start, was that she couldn't really get away from him because like her family asked her to do this, and so she's pushing herself to deal with it.
Kind of, but I feel like her family and other people have asked her other things, and she has like said no, or find some way to like kind of do it, but not really. She's a very strong-willed person, right?
Yeah, I do like that about her, for sure.
Yeah.
That makes it much more interesting than if she was just like a doormat, right?
Yeah, she's definitely not a doormat.
And I think that if she was, he would lose interest in her really fast. Like we've seen that as evidence with other women in the show.
Exactly. Yep. And she'd probably be much happier if that happened. But that's a different story.
You think she'd be happier if he did get bored with her and just like left her alone?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. I think she would say that, but like the more that we see her, the more we get to know her. I feel like she almost enjoys a challenge. Not that she would admit it.
Yeah. I definitely think that's fair. She does she definitely does seem to enjoy him more than she lets on or would admit even to herself.
Yes. And I think that's just like not just like her as a character, maybe again it's like something that has grown with her in the life that she's had, you know, with her family and her environment, and she maybe gets more of a thrill out of it than she would ever admit to anybody else.
Yeah. What do you think about her friend?
Which one?
The girl one. That's the one I like.
I have no idea who you're talking. Like, okay, I have a lot of their faces. I don't know because I feel like there are multiple characters who look too similar to each other.
Okay.
Like, there's her cousin, I think, who is very pretty, dark black hair, like the classic Japanese beauty. The one who, like, also confronts Kirishima when she comes and visits Tokyo. This is Tsubaki. I think they're related.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
That's the one you like. Okay, I like her too. But then I kept mixing her up with Now. Now is the one who is the chick who's, like, banging Kirishima, right? On the side. He, like, has her in the hotel room. She's sort of involved with this other troublesome sect. And, like, they have all these issues that go on in Osaka, right? And so, like, I thought the two women looked very similar, Now and Tsubaki. They both are, like, that Japanese beauty of, like, the long black hair. Very similar character design. So I was getting really confused.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
So I don't know about other friends. Like, I think Tsubaki is the only one I've noted. I don't really remember many other female characters.
She also has that guy friend.
I like him.
Yeah.
I want to know more about him, but I don't think we're going to have time in, like, the 2 more episodes that we're going to get. I feel like that's, like, another series.
Yeah, or a second season or something.
That's Shoma, right? He's, like, basically family, but it sounds like he was kind of adopted into their family.
Yeah, and he definitely has some adopted incest thing going on.
I was going to ask you, because you're a manga reader. I was like, there's definitely feelings there, right? Because that's what they imply. Not only with, like, the art, right? Just, like, the way that they act around one another. It feels like, even though they act like siblings, that he has a thing for her.
Oh, yeah, he definitely has a thing for her.
I mean, who can blame him? She's pretty cool, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him more than the main male character, obviously, because, you know, he's a lot more transparent about his feelings and isn't, like, going to stab her in the back anytime soon.
It would definitely be a healthier relationship, but a much less entertaining one.
I think less entertaining is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going for entertainment here, all the way.
It's funny, when I first picked up this show, I thought it was going to be, like, when you just look at the genres and just, like, the whole appearance of this show, it comes across as going to be, like, this sort of comedic romance.
It does?
I thought so. Just sort of like these 2 clashing characters with the whole Yakuza framing, especially when we look at some of the other Yakuza shows that we've gotten recently. I thought it would be funnier. And I thought the romance would be played up a lot more than it is.
Yakuzas are serious business.
They are serious business, but the way that anime likes to treat them, they make them out to be some sort of joke, you know, more relatable and approachable.
Yeah, no, this one, they're scary for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes and no.
Remember that episode where there's the, like, gang leader who's hiding from them, and then she sees the gang leader, like, going into some club, and then they come and threaten her?
Are you talking about the daughter of
Yeah, the daughter of some...
she's not really a gang leader. I think she was, like, the daughter of some notable family.
Some notable gang family, right?
Yeah. Was that scary?
I thought so. Yeah, like her love this guy, her love interest, he, like, goes and threatens this person, right? Like, makes her leave the country and stuff.
I don't remember the whole reasoning behind that at all. Like the details of that have already slipped my mind.
They slipped my
But
mind too, but he was pretty scary when he went and found
I just
her.
kind of feel like it's par for the course when you have gangs going up against one another and like encroaching on each other's turf.
Right.
Which I think he was actually in their turf, if I'm correct. So I that was like another big issue, was that he was on someone else's property.
He was on Yoshino's turf.
Yeah, so
Yeah, game politics, very complicated.
I guess part of the reason why it wasn't so, like, I didn't really blink at it is because of not only with like the Yakuza setting, but my whole exposure lately to sort of dark romance, which is a pretty big genre. And it's interesting what I've noticed, that this particular anime has actually been featured a little bit on. People are like, oh, if you like reading dark romance, if you like listening to dark romance audiobooks, you'll like this anime. And then they'll like show this, and they'll show like specific scenes. And violence, you know, like that unhinged violence is pretty common in those kinds of works. But what I feel like is like distinctly lacking is like any sort of payoff romantically. Because usually those dark romances, at least the ones I read, the ones that I'm familiar with, tend to have a whole lot of smut in them. Like there's definite payoff for it. And not really getting that here.
Definitely not yet, no.
Not yet. So are you saying, because you've read the manga, that there will be a payoff? Like, does it eventually happen where they'll have some kind of chemistry going on? Because right now I'm really frustrated, Draco. That's an anime-only viewer. I am very frustrated.
A little bit more, but it's definitely not like, at least not yet, like a very satisfying romance.
Okay, because I feel like slapped in the face right now with like him obviously banging other women, you know, like now. And then like being so nonchalant with Yoshino about it, you know, she doesn't care. So obviously, like that's the death knell of a relationship, isn't it? Is it's not hatred, it's apathy. She doesn't care. So then I don't see how these two are ever going to get together.
Well, I mean, she hasn't cared from the start, right?
Right.
It's only been he that cares.
Yeah. So like again, like how is this going to satisfy anyone who wants these two to hook up when there's obviously no momentum if one half of this duo doesn't give a shit?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, imagine you hadn't read the manga, Drago. Like, put yourself in my shoes. And, like, you've watched what we've watched so far. Doesn't it feel like they're just teasing us? Like, there's no progress. Other than maybe, like, she's more comfortable with bullshitting with him.
Yeah. I mean, do I really even want her to get together with him? I'm not even sure about that.
Well,
right?
what do you want out of the end of, like, are you getting what you want from this? From the anime, specifically?
I'm entertained, I guess.
So what you see every episode with them, like, arguing, getting on each other's nerves, like, that is enough for you.
I'm definitely not watching this for the romance, which I agree is not much love going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, like, remember that show last season or the season before with that girl, Hotaru, and she had this shitty boyfriend who, like, didn't want her to have friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you're like comparing this to? Is that's why you're like, I don't need them to be together?
Yeah, exactly. Like that one, they had such a horrible relationship and it tried to make it romantic. And it also didn't work for me.
Because she was also apathetic at the start, right? Kind of?
Yeah. But then she
kind of fell for him.
But it made no sense why she fell for him. At least to me. Right?
Right.
At least this one, I'm like, it makes no sense why she would fall for him. So I'm glad she didn't.
And she hasn't so far. But you're telling me that there are warnings of a change in the future that we will not see in the anime.
I mean, it's obviously the whole thing is setting them up to get together somehow. But how are they going to get together? I don't know.
That's my frustration, Dragon.
I feel like though maybe I trust them slightly more to make it convincing than that other show did.
I guess so, because it's just a little bit more realistic that there's such a resistance to it, right? Like an entire season of her being like, no. No.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you fall in love with this violent guy who your parents tried to force you to get together with, who is an asshole and who sleeps with other women and tells you about it?
Yeah. That should be not what you want. It should be.
It should be, yeah.
But Drago, we want what we cannot have.
Well, I think eventually we'll get it, but it'll take a while.
We'll see. Like, obviously, I think, I don't know what's going to happen. 2 episodes, what could they possibly do? They're obviously either going to try to find some awkward place to stop, or they're going to leave some kind of open ending, maybe, for like either to get us to read the manga or hinting towards a sequel. I have no idea.
Yeah, definitely one of those. Not going to be a satisfying ending yet.
No, I don't think so. Tune in again to Kaiseki Anime Podcast 2 weeks from now. Please feel free to send us questions or comments on Twitter with hashtag Kaiseki Anime Podcast or on our individual accounts at Dragon_Kun and at MarinaBMB.
Listen to and review us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts so we can continue to grow and improve. Thanks for listening. See you next time.